Hey, what's up, guys? I'm just filming this because I have something that I just wanted to get off my chest. And it's fucking busy out here. Honestly, right now, I'm in the stage of being a service provider in my business, which is short for I'm a fucking employee of my own business. And you just have task after task after task after task. And it doesn't feel like you're really going anywhere. It's so easy to feel stuck in the constant grind of just to do after to do, uh, client fulfillment, content, admin, finances, whatever it is. I just wanted to shoot a video to number one, get a few things off my chest, and number two, walk you through how exactly I'm dealing with it because I know that this is something that so many entrepreneurs go through, especially at the 0 to 1 phase where you're just getting started and you're trying to get the momentum to really launch yourself and begin operating like a real business, not like a a freelancer, basically. And there's a few things. The first thing is that when you're on the day-to-day grind, you need to not worry about the high level things. You got to do what you got to do. You got to check off your to-dos and know that every time you are finishing off your to-do list, you are getting one step closer towards where you need to be. And if you're not, then it's not a question of how much work you're doing, it's a question of what tasks that you're prioritizing. I like to view it in two ways. I have something called quartile one work and something called quartile two work. This is a concept that um, I don't want to misquote him, but he's called David Covey. He said that on a day to day, you have tasks that are urgent but not important. And you also have tasks that are important but not urgent. So the day to day tasks that you do, for example, like client work, those are the tasks that are urgent but not important. They're not important because they're not high leverage. You have to do them because otherwise your client's not going to be happy. But if all you do are those tasks, your business is not going to move forward. And it's very clear because you can get one client, and whoever's run an agency before will know this, is that there will always be something to do. There will always be something that is requested. There's always going to be a problem that you have to fix, fires that you have to put out, whatever it is. And the most those things will give you is that if there are new tasks, you can learn a few new things. But otherwise, it's just going to be to complete more deliverables for whoever you're working for. The things that are actually going to move you and your business forward are the quartile two tasks, the things that are important but not urgent. Tasks like these range from, they're basically strategic tasks, right? They're things that don't yield immediate results right now, but will yield results later on, for example, helping you win back your time. One example of a quartile two task is, for example, from the top of my head, it is looking for a potential appointment setter or a virtual assistant to take on tasks for you and outlining their job spec and preparing your business infrastructure to onboard them. Immediately, those are not going to get quick results because you're going to spend your time, you're going to go through an entire hiring process, you're going to look online for potential candidates, and it's going to take a while. But once you actually implement it and you get somebody in, you've now saved yourself X amount of hours per week that you can now apply to other high leverage tasks. All this to say is basically that when you are stuck in the day to day grind and you want to find a way out of it, you basically need to add into your schedule a time where you're purely focused on quartile two tasks, the ones that are important but not urgent. And like that, you know that every single day or every single week, you're applying X amount of hours to those strategic tasks. And knowing that they're not going to generate results straight away, the fact that you have put that into your schedule and you're taking those to dos off from your quartile two to dos over time, your actions are going to compound and you'll start seeing changes in your business, in your life, whatever it is. That is the way to basically launch yourself out of that level of stagnation where you're stuck doing the day-to-day tasks and you're actually working on making the moves that will allow you to grow. And the typical ratio I like to do is 80% not important, urgent but not important, and then 20% important but not urgent. And this way, I don't worry, I don't think about what I have to do. I don't get desperate, because that's what happens when you feel stuck. You get desperate and you try to look for ways out, but you just end up digging yourself a bigger hole because you're reacting out of emotion. And you don't need, and with this system, you don't have to think about any of it. You just know what you have to do at what time, whether it be a Q1 task or a Q2 task, and you're just executing. And like that, you can trust the schedule, and you can trust the to-dos that you've put for yourself. And you can trust that you can start growing. So I've been doing this for the past few years, and in the moment, I couldn't quite measure the growth, but I am so far from where I first started, because when I first started in business, I became a freelance copywriter. I had no idea how to make money online, and I just knew how to write essays because I went to university and I got good grades. So I was like, okay, I know how to write, so let me try to sell that online. I was in platforms like Fiverr and Upwork, just selling copywriting for dirt cheap. And I was stuck in this everyday grind. My income wasn't growing. I was working 12 hours a day, and I just knew I had to do something. So that's when I learned about this system, and I started implementing Q2 tasks on 20% of all of my to-dos. And over the years, I've grown to over 5 to 6K pounds in revenue. I'm getting more clients now, so I'm set to grow more for that as well. And all that is thanks to me making sure that I prioritize at least 20% of my time doing strategic tasks. And things can get stressful, things can get, basically, it can look like a shit show, right? And it's hard to really have a high level view of what's happening when you're in the thick of it. But this way, you don't need to go to that high level. You can trust in the system and know that it's going to help you grow.